I got laid off from my job. I was making plans a year, 2 years in advance, and a day later lose my job. If God took care of them, how much more would He also take care of me? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do something a little different. I'm going to be starting a new series on this channel called Studio Talk, where I basically do different art projects with you guys while talking about different topics. These conversations are meant to be a little more intimate and just sharing a little more about my life. This idea was inspired by all my years working in a studio with other people, and I just found that I had some really good conversations. So I kind of wanted to mimic that. I am making a wall art canvas. I'm not sure what you really call it, but I am making this for my room. There's a lot of blank walls in my room right now. I already went through the process of drawing this out, so I have something a little easier to do when I'm like talking with you guys. I'm just gonna be filling this with some black paint. Guys, it took me 2 hours into the project to know that I misspelled acknowledge. So I will not be completing this project. Next time I will pick a better project to do when I'm talking. Okay, I'm gonna start this. Okay, I gotta make this more watery. I'm in my room because my art studio actually has a pretty bad leak in the roof. So until that gets fixed, I'm gonna be doing all my art projects in this room. You guys probably know from the title what I'm gonna be talking about today. I got laid off from my job. Obviously, like, it was really shocking, and it is my first experience ever getting laid off. So I didn't really know what to do in that situation when I did hear the news. I could go more into detail of why I got laid off in another video if it ever comes down to it, but what I do want to focus on is how I'm processing this sudden change in my life, and honestly, like, what God's been teaching me through it, because He's been teaching me many things and pressing many things on my heart. I think more than anything, I was more shocked by the sudden change and how easy it was for me for my life to change completely in a matter of a few seconds. God really humbled me in that moment. For me, at least, my plan was that I was gonna stay at that job for X amount of years, get the experience that I need, build my resume, build my credentials, and go to a better job. And I feel like many of us can relate to that, of making our own plan, especially with our career as well. And for me, like, that's what I did. I was like, this is my plan, how I'm gonna progress in my career. But you know that verse, James 4:14, it says, "Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time, then vanishes." Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. So it's kind of talking about, we make all these plans of like, yeah, in like a year, I'm gonna be doing this. But it's basically saying like, you don't even know what tomorrow will bring. So what you should be saying is, if God allows me to, if God wills, then I will do that. I was making plans a year, 2 years in advance, and literally a day later lose my job. Aside from all the really obvious emotions, I honestly felt really relieved. I think it's because for a few months now, I have been feeling and really questioning if this job was even right for me. So when I did tell one of my closest friends, she did say, but wow, like, God's direction is like really clear. And I think I really did agree with that. I can really see now, like a month and a half later, that God shut the door like this. And now I kind of know what I'm looking for in my next job. And I know what's better for me, what I like, my priorities. If I didn't get laid off, I was gonna stay there for years. God knew what was better for me, and He shut the door. But while shutting the door, He's directing me somewhere else. I think what he's really been pressing on my heart is for me to pray and ask him for direction. Obviously, when like you suddenly lose your job, the natural thing for you to do, and honestly for me too, is like look for another job. But at least for me, like for a couple of months after I got laid off, I didn't want to do any of that. But I think I just wanted to take the time to be still before God and really ask him if looking for another job at this time was the right thing for me to do. I mean, looking back now, it's so obvious, like what else was I gonna do? But I just really wanted to hear God's voice and at least have a sense of peace before doing what was natural to me. At that time, my prayer was, Lord, if you want me to start looking for another job, like, let me know. And let me know by like peace in my heart. It's crazy because even before I lost my job, my church was actually planning on going to Houston, Texas for a thing we call like a mentoring trip, which is we visit the churches in the area, we meet like different pastors, leaders, just hear like their testimony, we learn how they do ministry. I was planning on taking PTO. Like a week before this trip, I got laid off and it just came at the right time. Something that was so evident that God was revealing to me and even the other people that went with me on this trip was trust. And I think I really felt the presence of God pressing on my heart about what it means to really trust him with my life. Different testimonies gave me such confidence and a reminder of God's character. I was thinking like, wow, if God took care of them, how much more would he also take care of me? Last week, I actually applied to my first job and I got rejected. Which is like expected considering that I don't expect to get another job the first time I try again. It's so easy for me to forget and it's so easy for me to get anxious again. Like literally when I got rejected from that first job I applied, like even though I wasn't expecting to get it, just reading that rejection letter got me so like discouraged. And I was like questioning, is there even a space for me in this like industry? Is there even a job that I want that's right for me, that is willing to hire me? There were so many doubts and fears. Yeah, I just got very anxious. Part of trusting in God is actively fighting to trust God. With every like anxiety I have, I need to bring it before God and like surrender it. And I remember like what he showed me in Houston again. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. All I need to do is acknowledge him, come before him, actively seek him, and spend time with him. And my next steps will naturally come. If you guys have any other questions or anything you want me to explain more of, please let me know in the comments below. Even though I only got to like 5 letters, I'm so happy that I got to share this side of my life with you guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!